Live from the Brewster Ice Arena in Brewster, New York, this is the Tier 1 Hockey Federation Game of the Week, presented by Play-by-Play Productions. Today, the Westchester Express skate on home ice as they finish up a two-game set against the Philadelphia Flyers Elite. Well, thanks so much for tuning on in, folks. My name's Zach McGinnis. As mentioned, these two teams faced off less than 12 hours ago. A 7:40 face-off last night, a 12:30 face-off this afternoon. It was a 7-6 victory in favor of the Westchester Express. That improved the Westchester record to 4-6 on the season. The Philadelphia Flyers Elite fell to 3-6. They'll look for some revenge for yesterday's high-scoring game. Philadelphia in their black uniforms with the orange and white trim. They'll skate from left to right on your screens at home. The Westchester Express sporting some new threads this season. They're in the white jerseys with the red and black trim. They'll skate from right to left on your screens at home. Jake Anderson in goal for the Express. To our right, to our left, Nick Radcliffe getting the call once again as we are underway, and just like that, 8 seconds in, we have an icing call and a face-off coming down into the Flyers zone. In yesterday's game for the Flyers, Joey Roselli had a goal and an assist. Luke Ravitz had 2 goals himself as the scoring was pretty even, or rather spread out throughout the lineup. For the Westchester Express, Colin Cody had 2 helpers. Luke Golisano, 2 goals and an assist. Dan Cardozo, 2 goals and an assist. Those are the 2 players that the Flyers will need to keep their eyes on as this puck is battled for at center ice. Eventually coming up with it, but only for a moment was got of the Express. He's able to recollect, go D to D across, and now Westchester looks to break on out. At center ice, having the puck knocked off of his stick was Luke Golisano. Trying to move forward with this is Zubak. Zubak, however, couldn't maintain possession. Chipped back out towards center ice, but the Express there to pick it up. D to D they go, and now on the far side, it's Parker Katana. Katana got it out of the zone. Zubak at center ice, able to muscle his way as far as the blue line before it's turned over, and the Flyers are able to take it back the other way. Here's Roselli sending it down deep. Stopped behind the net by Anderson. Anderson sees a couple players go flying on by. Zubak had an opportunity to clear. It goes off his skates, and Miller will wrap it all the way around. Now on the far side, Cardozo for the Express. Looking for an option, has a couple Flyers right in front of him. Eventually it's sent over far side, and Leahy from the red line will send it down deep. Will this be icing? No. Waved off as Kameka behind the net for the Flyers lost possession of the puck. Roselli picks it up on the far side half wall. He can't get it out either. Now Jackson Hochberg behind the net, helped around further by Devine, and eventually picked up and taken out of the zone. Miller from center ice can't get it down deep. That's gloved at the blue line, but then getting run into the wall was Nate Vault. Eventually this gets shipped back down. Anderson looking for some support. Vault will be the first one there, and he'll go out the same side wall. Can't quite connect along the wall with Cardozo. Cardozo, however, is able to pick up the puck, and now it's a 2-on-1 for the Express. Cardozo lost possession, sends it off the side of the cage anyway. Nick Radcliffe had some trouble with the changeup. Now Malazia's shot, that's knocked down in front. Might have gone off Cardozo. On the half wall, Flyers looking to clear it out of the zone. Stretch pass, can't connect with Jones. Jaden Jones, the Voorhees native, sees this puck get flipped back down into his own end. Robert Skameka there will send it off the boards over the stick of Cody. Vault will have to go back to retrieve. Vault retreating into his own corner, eventually sends one up ice. That goes off a stick at center ice, so no icing on the play as it's picked up by Ryan Wayner. Wayner gives along for Jones. Jones looking for an option, chips over far side. Eventually gets picked up by Finelli. Finelli will send it down deep and chase after it himself. Trying to reverse back the other way is Jack Casey. Casey eventually comes up this near side wall. Warner able to keep it alive at the blue line. Danielson on goal, and Anderson able to knock that away. Danielson had his stick fail him, so Galante for the Express is able to one-hand one up ahead into the Flyers zone. Quickly, the Flyers and Finelli able to direct it on out off the high glass at center ice. Casey back in his own end, quickly swings it back the other way. Here's Golisano. Has a little open ice in front of him, quickly closed off by a pair of Flyer defenders. Devine able to pick it on up. Pass was too far to connect with Ravitz. It goes off the broken stick, however, that's still out there, and that wipes out the icing call. Far side, Golisano can't come up with it. Here's William Herbert on goal. Kicked aside by Anderson. Anderson, the 04 birth year goaltender, has a 4-6-1 record coming into this game as the puck is sent all the way down the ice. Icing is called. Bit of a unique vantage point here at the Brewster Ice Arena. We're hanging out on a perch right above the scorers table. So hopefully the players decide to play along and, well, we don't have too much action right in front of us because I can assure you folks, it's not the best of angles. Brewster Ice Arena has stood now for over 25 years. Some NHL players have played their youth hockey here, including Sonny Milano, formerly with the Columbus Blue Jackets, Steve Santini of the formerly the New Jersey Devils, now the Nashville Predators. Called this his home rink as a kid as well. We have a whistle and a hand pass called against the Flyers. Face-off will come out into the neutral zone. 12:54 to go in the first period. Still no score between the Westchester Express and the Philadelphia Flyers Elite. We mentioned earlier how the Express, new jerseys this year for them. They still keep the Wisconsin W on their helmets, but it's a clean-looking uniform, a white base, New York arched across their chest, and some big old numbers on the stomach. Gives it more of a collegiate look as Leahy back in his own end looks for an option. Plays up ahead, Zubak. Zubak plays along further, gets it as far as the Flyers' blue line before it's turned over, and Philly's able to break back into the zone. Here's a backhand shot saved by Anderson. The rebound loose on the side of the cage, ends up behind the net. And again, it was the Express in last night's game who had the 7-6 victory. 3 goals were scored by both teams in that first period. Here's a 3-on-1 developing for the Flyers. Sharp angle attempt, knocked aside by Anderson. Anderson staying tight on the post, still sees the puck in a dangerous area. Flyers control, giving back Resto at the point, right into the breadbasket of Josh Anderson. Or check that, Jake Anderson. And either way, he'll hold on. Another faceoff coming up in the Express zone. Josh Anderson. See, we were talking about Sonny Milano before, formerly of the Columbus Blue Jackets. Josh Anderson still on the Blue Jackets. Jake Anderson on the Westchester Express. They're basically the same thing. Face off to the left of Anderson. Off the draw, it's wrapped around hard by Vault. Not hard. Oh, actually, it is hard enough to get it out of the zone, as fanning on the keep-in attempt was Zhao. Now played off the wall by Golisano. He'll send it down deep. Wirtz will chase after this, but it'll be Zhao who gets there first. Zhao, far side corner, simply plays it up the wall all the way down the ice. This should be icing, and there's the whistle as Vault is back to touch up. 11:40 to go in a scoreless first period. You might notice the banners on the far side of this arena. That's because the Brewster Ice Arena for a season was actually the home to a professional hockey team, the Brewster Bulldogs, who played in the then FHL, now the FPHL. On goal and settled on down quickly by Radcliffe. But the Bulldogs, unfortunately, only lasted 1 season. However, some of those Bulldog players have gone on to play in the SPHL and the East Coast Hockey League. And the voice of the Bulldogs, Tommy Pecoraro, now the voice of the Evansville Ice Bolts for the past 5 seasons. Here is Zhao. Centering feed goes through the blue paint and through everybody. Zhao picks it up behind the net. Tried swinging along for Miller. That was too hard to handle. Malazzi unable to clear. Golisano from his knee chips one off the glass. Not out. Here's Skameka. Poked away by Vault. Cardozo on the far side. Has his stick lifted. Can't come up with the puck before he's bodied off of it. A shot from the point gets blocked. Rebound goes wide off the stick of Miller. Looking to come up with possession for the Flyers is Wirtz. This one goes back to the point, pinballing around in front. Eventually, it's Vault who picks it up. He'll send one off the glass, but not out. Skameka gets drilled into the boards. Play continues as the physical play starts to pick up between these two teams. Familiarity breeds contempt, as offsides is called. Getting a bit ahead of the play is Jaden Jones. So we'll have another face-off hanging out towards center ice. 10:40 to go in the first period. Still no score between the Westchester Express and the Philadelphia Flyers Elite. Corey Levy on the draw. Face-off was won by Hochberg. Finelli in his own, or rather in the offensive end, can't come up with possession of the puck. Galante tries to poke it along. Braden Galante, the Ardsley, New York native, sees this go off the wall past him all the way down. No icing on the play as Finelli battles for the puck. Also there, Jack Casey for the Express. Now turning around with it is Atrando. MJ Atrando able to work it up ahead. And now 2-on-2 come the Express over the blue line. It's Hochberg with a shot. That goes wide. Jones beaten to the puck by Galante. Jones plays the shoulder regardless. Down low, off the stick of Atrado. Jones able to at least get it over the blue line. Now turned over here to come back the other way. It's Marco Gazzetti in. Gazzetti, a shot knocked down by Ratcliffe. The rebound just skitters on wide. Oh, Galante tried a slow one that nearly was able to tuck inside the far post. Now Galante in the corner. Has to deal with a couple Flyers defensemen. Can't hold on to the puck. Jones throws it down the ice. This should be icing against the Flyers as it rattles off the corner and across the goal line for the whistle. 9:29 to go in the first period. Still looking for our first goal in this game. Bit different than yesterday's game, but as much as these players may be teenagers, eventually the energy level gets sapped just a bit. Golisano on the draw to the face, on the face-off to the right of Radcliffe. Golisano able to win it back. Leahy sends down deep. Helped along further by Gott. Golisano. Now Zubin, a native of King of Prussia, Pennsylvania. About 20-25 miles outside of Philadelphia. KOP, as it's known by the locals, has a very nice mall out there in case you're in the shopping mood as we get closer to the holiday season. Of course, by law, the holiday season does not start until after Thanksgiving. I don't care what the radio station's already calling, or rather already playing Christmas music, have to say about that. Here come the Flyers, 2-on-0 down low, a shot stopped by Anderson, and he holds on. Jake Anderson went from having to deal with a nothing play to suddenly a 2-on-0 down low, but Anderson getting big in the cage, able to make the save. And big, a bit of an understatement when it comes to Anderson. 6'5", 225 pounds. That is a big body manning the 4x6. DeFulvio on the draw for the Flyers. One into the corner by Golisano. Behind the net. Here's Colin Cody. Tried working it along. Warner able to give on back. Roselli in the corner. Roselli pinned up against the wall. Galante wants to come up with the puck. He does, and the Express are able to clear. Now a long pass, can't exactly complete with Gazzetti. Icing is called, and with 6:46 to go in the first, face-off will come back down into the Westchester zone. So face-off coming up to the left of Jake Anderson. He has stopped all 8 shots sent his way here in the first period. It'll be Richie DeFulvio on the draw. One back, now Luke Resto. Resto coming towards the close, or rather to the center of the ice, sent one towards goal. Anderson able to punch that away. Cody, near side corner, wants to play along for Galante. Instead found a better option at center ice and Luke Golisano. Golisano gets around Resto to the outside. Golisano centering feed, knocked away out of the crease by the defense of Yichi and Zhao. Now the Flyers up ahead into the offensive zone. Here's Roselli. His centering feed goes off the skates of Jack Casey. Flyers still control with an official in the way. DeFulvio has it in the corner. Doesn't have much that he can do with it, however. Goes behind the net. Now Miller, centering feed. Pops out in front. Too far for Roselli to handle as Galante was able to play it up ahead. Now Gazzetti at the blue line. Wanted to give along for Golisano, but getting a bit ahead of the play was Braden Galante. So the face-off will come back out towards center ice with 5:55 to go in the first period, and still no score between the Westchester Express and the Philadelphia Flyers Elite. Face-off to the right of goaltender Nick Radcliffe. It'll be Danielson on the draw, and actually there's been a penalty called as well behind the play. Richie DeFulvio ends up in the box. He'll serve 2 minutes for roughing, and so we get to see the special teams for the first time in this game. In yesterday's affair between these two squads, the Flyers were able to connect on the power play, and on a different man advantage, the Westchester Express were able to score shorthanded. 30 seconds gone by on the power play as Cardozo sets up, gives along for Malazzi. Malazzi circling at the blue line, has an option in Golisano, instead calls his own number and sees his shot get deflected out of play. Faceoff will remain in the Flyers zone. 1:22 to go on the power play, 5:17 to go in the first period. This will be Zubak on the draw. He goes up against Oscar Danielson. Zubak on a 50-50 draw sees the Express come up with possession. Golisano dummies one along as he was expecting it to get picked up by Joey Malazzi. Instead, the Flyers are able to send it on out. No icing on the play as Golisano has to go all the way back to retrieve, and now he'll begin 200 feet away from where he wants to be. Golisano, his pass a little too far to be handled by Malazzi. Malazzi circling in his own end. Danielson keeping a close eye on things as the Flyers go with a 1-3 shorthanded forecheck. Here's Malazzi fanning on the pass as he goes over the blue line. Eventually he's able to shovel one along for Golisano. Golisano tripped up on the play, touched up by the Flyers, and with 4:35 to go in the first period, the Westchester Express will have a 5-on-3 man advantage for the next 40 seconds. Going to the box for the Flyers is Yichian Zhao, and he'll sit 2 minutes for tripping. So the Express with a fantastic opportunity towards the end of this first period to try and score the first goal of the game. They'll send out Gazzetti, Zubak, and Malazzi up front. Leahy and Golisano on the points. Golisano, normally a forward, playing defense for this power play as they roll with 4 forwards. Here's Golisano off the face-off win. Gives to Leahy. Now Golisano again. Leahy, lots of room in front of him. Not much movement by the Express. Giving along Golisano. His shot deflects off a defensive skate and out of play, as diving in front of that for the Flyers was Joey Roselli. You know the coach trusts you when you're the only forward on the ice on a 5-on-3. Roselli showing why he's entrusted by head coach Jamie Hill. Doesn't win this faceoff, however, as the Express are able to set up once again. 15 seconds to go on the 5-on-3. Golisano and Leahy playing catch. Sharp angle attempt off the stick of Zubak goes wide and not out of the zone. Nice job by Golisano to keep it in. Now Golisano gives down low. Golisano again, 3 seconds to go on the 5-on-3. Shot by Leahy, bounces around the crease, not across the goal line. Leahy with the puck again. Minute 15 to go on the power play. Zubak, we have a whistle, and has the net come off of its moorings? Looks like it has. So the faceoff should remain in the Flyers zone. 3:48 to go in the first, and a minute 14 to go on the Express power play. Same cast of characters will stay out on the ice for both these teams. It'll be Corey Levy on the draw, clean win back. Warner wraps around far side. Golisano racing to the blue line. He's able to keep it in the zone. Puck skips off of some of the bench slush in the corner. Levy goes hard off the wall. That might have gone off the stick of Leahy. It did not, so icing is called. And with 3:31 to go in the first period, the Express will have another offensive zone face-off. 56 seconds to go on their power play. It'll be Malazzi, Hochberg, Galante up front. Cody and Leahy on the points for the Express as they try to find the back of the net for the first time in this game. Warner chips one off the glass, didn't have much mustard on it. Express able to take over control. Here's Malazzi with a sharp angle attempt off the shoulder of Radcliffe. He gets the rebound as well, loose behind him. Flyers defenseman able to pick it up, and the Flyers clear all the way down. This will go wide of the cage, so icing blown once again. 3:11 to go in the first, 37 seconds to go on the Express power play. Officially, they are 0 for 1 with the man advantage. Well, 3:11 remaining in the first. 3:11, the band, out on tour once again. If you want to relive music from the late 90s and early 2000s. Controlled by the Flyers off the draw. DeFolvio skies one up ahead, trying to connect with Wirtz. Wirtz eventually comes up with it, all by himself down in the express zone. It's a lonely existence down there, and Westchester is able to get it on out. Not with possession, however, as DeFolvio gives back to his defenseman Luke Resto. Resto for Skameka. Skameka can't get it, or does get it around Hochberg, and now Wirtz up ahead. Leahy in front of him. 5 seconds to go on the power play. Colin Cody plays up the far side wall. Galante gives back to Cody as we're back to 5-on-5 hockey. So a 40-second 5-on-3. Lots of power play time for the Express. They generated shots, could not find the back of the net as Hochberg sends one up high. Jones chips up ahead, and now a 2-on-1 developing for the Flyers. Here's Wirtz across the blue line, trying to settle down the puck, sends one through the slot to Fulvio, unable to get much lumber on it. Now Hochberg. DeFolvio has an option to end the point in Skameka and gives to him. Skameka, quick shot, goes through everybody. Far side Wirtz with under 2 minutes to play in the first. Trying to get the puck down deep is Resto. Here's Skameka, nice intercept at the blue line. Skameka swings one through the blue paint, it goes wide. Now Resto at the blue line, 1:45 to go in the period. Shot gets blocked. Clearance attempt by Leahy goes off of an offensive skate. And now here comes Malazzi behind the D. Malazzi is shot, stopped by Radcliffe. Rebound flutters through midair. Then we have a whistle, and we have 2 players going to the box. Well, that's easy to settle out. Robert Skameka will go to the box for the Flyers. Joe Malazzi will go to the box for Westchester. They'll each sit 2 minutes for roughing. So we'll remain 5-on-5 with 90 seconds to go in the first period. Face-off will come outside of the Flyers' end. It'll be Golisano on the draw. He goes up against Luke Ravitz. Golisano waiting to put his stick down. He does, and the puck gets dropped. Off the Flyers' face-off win. This goes off the back of the skate of Hurlbert. Now Gott for Westchester to the outside. Bad angle. Missed wide. Puck rolls around to the far side. Flyers able to clear. Hurlbert pokes it up ahead. Keeping a close eye on things is Atrando. Atrando able to break things up. 1:08 to go in the period. Here come the Express through center ice. Golisandro drops on back. Zubak. Zubak centering feed. They score! Luke Golisano! 1-0 Westchester. For Luke Golisano. It is his 9th goal of the Tier 1 season. He has scored now in every game this year for the Westchester Express. And now they lead it 1-0. Under a minute to play in the first period. At center ice, here's Hochberg picking it up. Hochberg to the outside with Resto on top of him. Tries to reverse on back where he was hoping to connect with Gazzetti. Instead, it'll be the Flyers taking over control. Leahy able to intercept at center ice. And then a whistle that should not have been blown as Levy of the Flyers possessed the puck coming over the blue line. However, that is part of the automatic offsides and the automatic icing that we play here under USA Hockey rules. So off the draw, it's controlled by the Express. Hochberg able to win it on back. D to D they go. Pass too far for Cardozo. Hochberg able to pick it on up. Can't get it very deep. Now Cardozo dropping a shoulder, driving towards the front of the net. Stops in the corner. He's got 18 seconds to work with. A weak centering pass is intercepted by Resto, but then Resto has his stick lifted. Pass back to the point. Leahy not in the right area. So this goes all the way down. Anderson leaves it behind for Leahy. 6 seconds to go in the period. Levy of the Flyers comes on down. 2 seconds left. They won't get a shot on goal. And that'll do it for the first period of play. So at the end of 1, it's the Westchester Express 1. The Philadelphia Flyers Elite 0. We'll take a timeout. When we come back in just a moment, second period of action about to get underway. You're watching the Tier 1 Hockey Federation Game of the Week, presented by Play-by-Play Productions. Welcome back to the Brewster Ice Arena in Brewster, New York. Second period of action about to get underway between the Westchester Express and the Philadelphia Flyers Elite. Through 17 minutes of play, the Express lead 1-0 on Luke Alessandro's 7th goal of the season. The Express in their home white uniforms with the black and red trim. They'll skate left to right on your screen at home here in the second period. The Flyers look like the Flyers. They're in the black jerseys with the orange and white trim. They'll skate from right to left. Off the draw, controlled by the Flyers early on, but quickly stolen away by Gott. Chipped off the glass out towards center ice. Here's Golisano. Run into by Resto, lost possession of the puck. Devine sends down deep, no icing on the play. Leahy in the far corner. Loose puck picked up and cleared out of the zone by Andy Zubak. Zubak sends down deep. He'll chase after it himself. Resto the first one there, given along for Gott. Gott, his centering feed intercepted and worked up ahead by Robert Skimeka. Thrown down deep by Resto. Into the near side corner, Danielson on the forecheck. This is sent in front of the Flyers bench. They need to be careful. They don't have too many men on the ice. Might have gotten away with one as the Express take over control. Up ahead, here's Jackson Leahy. Leahy goes behind the net, gets bumped, lost possession. Flyers break out the other way. They've got a 3-on-2 if they hurry across the blue line to the outside. Dropped off. Miller, a drive, goes wide. Poliak from the point. His shot deflects off the stick of Wirtz and wide. Now Miller in the far corner. Chips down low. Wirtz centering feed. Roselli can't get a stick on it, and eventually it'll be Zubak of the Express who's able to clear. Over the Bulldogs logo at center ice, Zubak into the zone, to the outside. Wanted to center a shot, or rather a pass across for Golisano. No sail there. Shot from the point, gets blocked. Flyers looking to clear. Chipped off the wall by Roselli as far as the Westchester blue line. Vault chips one right in front of us. You folks at home have the better angle than us. Eventually we see Galante come up with it. Galante, a rising shot, goes over the top of the cage. Now Joey Roselli can't get it on out. Gazzetti, Wirtz for the Flyers, gives along Ravitz, and he sends one down deep. Anderson tries to slow it down a bit. Colin Cody still the first one there as we're more than 2 minutes into the second period. Turned over, shot over the top of the cage off the stick of DeFolvio. Now Zhao stepping in from the blue line. Zhao tried to play one along the goal line. That went off of a defensive skate. Centering feed gets intercepted. Played up to the blue line, not out. Ravitz from the point. His shot skips in on goal. Anderson able to kick it aside. Now Hurlbert. Far corner. Wants to get a cycle going. Played back to the point, but intercepted by the Express. And Galante is able to clear. Braden Galante gives it long for Gazzetti, near side. Gazzetti on goal, knocked down by Radcliffe, punched behind the cage, picked up by the Express. No hand pass on the play. Centering feed in front and sending one just wide was Galante. Whistle blows as the net came off of its moorings. But Braden Galante, the 0-5 out of Ardsley, New York, with a great opportunity to try and double up this lead for the Express. We mentioned earlier the size of Westchester goaltender Jake Anderson, 6'5", 225 pounds. Nick Radcliffe, no slouch himself, 6'3", 175 pounds. I'm not sure if it's something in the water. It just seems like these 18-year-old players keep getting bigger every year. Flyers looking to clear on out with 3 minutes gone by in the second. Here is Resto, the defenseman, doing it all himself, just runs out of real estate as the puck rolls away from his stick. Back up at the blue line, Levy kept it alive only for a moment. Malazzi able to give along Cardozo to the outside. Cardozo gives back Malazzi, who fans on the shot. Golisano, the third man in, couldn't come up with it. And now Jaden Jones gives along Finelli. Levy on goal, swallowed up by Anderson. And he'll hold on for a faceoff to his right. 13:37 to go in the second period. Unless things have changed, we will have a full intermission between the second and the third. So some fresh ice for the final regulation period of this game. On the draw, a 50-50 draw. Finelli tries to get it down deep. He's met along the wall by Casey. Now Jones, watched closely by Golisano. Golisano able to knock the puck away from Jones. He's able to help it along further. And now out of the zone, Malazzi's pass. Can't quite connect with Cardozo. Finelli knocked up against the wall. That allows the Express to stay on offense. At the blue line, Atrando sends one back down deep. Malazzi in pursuit. He'll get there first. Malazzi and Finelli, they meet at the same time. Levy there wanted to work it on back. Instead, it'll be Cardozo with a backhander that goes well wide. Cardozo again at the half wall. Jones gets in the way of that. And Cardozo will maintain possession as he retreats out towards the red line. Now back into the Flyer zone. Cardozo to the outside. Wraparound attempt goes through the slot. Eventually it's picked up by Devine of Philly. We have a whistle. Bet you the net came off its moorings again. It did. So the faceoff will remain in the Flyer zone. 12:37 to go in the second period. Still 1-0 your score, courtesy of Luke Golisano in the first period. So face-off coming up to the left of goaltender Nick Radcliffe, who has stopped 12 of 13 shots so far in this game. Here's Devine. His shot deflects it on goal. Anderson able to make the save. Has a nice job cutting through the slot by Jack Wirtz. But Wirtz just unable to direct it on home. So face-off now to Jake Anderson's right. Chipped off the glass on the face-off. Express able to clear. Right underneath us, it's Gott. Now on a 2-on-1. Gott, the shot off the blocker of Radcliffe. Behind the net, Express still threatening. Sent on back behind. Skameka able to pick it up, but he is quickly stripped of the puck by Zubak. Now Zubak circling in the corner. Played up ahead. Danielson for the Flyers. Plays it along further. Matt Devine gets it into the zone. Devine battling through one check. Eventually can't get around the defense of Parker Katena. Katena trying to come up with possession of the puck. Two players for both teams in the corner. Eventually it's the Flyers who come up with it. Cycled on back in the corner. Intercepted by Leahy. He goes far around the boards, but not out. Nice job holding the line by Skameka. DeFulvio sends one towards goal. Anderson's seen enough. Face-off will be to his right with 11:32 to go in the second period. Well, another nice thing, perhaps not a nice thing, when it comes to our vantage point here at the Brewster Ice Arena. The sound system is located right over our heads, so at least for you folks at home, you get a nice soundtrack to this game as well. Off the face-off, puck ends up in the far side corner. Miller, centering feed, goes through everybody. Eventually, Gazzetti's able to pick it up, and he swings one over far side. Nearly losing possession as he crossed over the red line was Braden Galante. He's still able to get it down deep, but the Flyers look to break out as Roselli slaps it off the boards, picks up some help from DeFulvio. DeFulvio crosses with Miller, a shot saved by Anderson. Anderson gets the rebound as well. Loose puck, DeFulvio gives back Poliak at the point. A rising shot comes in on goal, stopped by Anderson. Played along Miller, it goes wide. Poliak from a bad angle, loose in front of a net. DeFulvio high slot, that's blocked. Getting in the way of that for the Express was Golisano. And now Golisano leads it back the other way. 3-on-2 across the blue line. Gazzetti sends one towards the cage. It goes wide. Gazzetti again. Tees one up. Blocker to side by Radcliffe. Galante, far side, goes behind the net. Golisano. Golisano, a centering feed, gets intercepted. And the Flyers look to clear. Express able to break things up and send it back out towards center ice. Here's Galante, drop back Golisano. Golisano already with one in this game. One hands one towards the front of the net, draws a penalty for his troubles. And with 10:06 to go in the second period, we'll see the Express go back onto the power play for the third time in this game. They are 0 for 2 so far with the man advantage. Are they going to end up grabbing both of them here? Indeed it will. So Golisano will go to the box for the Express. Not sure if he said something that sent him to the box or maybe the little extra after the whistle had already blown. Believe it's Robert Skemeka in the box for the Flyers. Either way, because of the coincidentals, we remain 5-on-5. And considering it's Skemeka with the puck, we can safely say he's not the one in the Flyers box. So we'll figure out who's serving 2 minutes for the Flyers in a moment. Meanwhile, here's Hurlburt. Wants to go back to Skemeka at the point. That deflects off of his stick. Levy has to retreat as far back as his own blue line to pick it up. Levy one hands, one long for Hurlburt. Hurlburt over the red line, now over the Express blue line. Skemeka jumping up in the play. Wants to get towards the front of the net, gets tripped up on the play. That's a penalty coming up against the Express. Yet the whistle was blown when the Flyers had possession. Well, it looks like the net came off of its moorings. Haven't heard of that one before, so that's the reason for the whistle. So going to the box for the Express is MJ Atrando. He'll sit 2 minutes for tripping. And we'll get to see the Flyers on the power play for the first time in this game. It's Luke Ravitz who's in the box for the Flyers. Stick tap to the scorer's table right underneath us. So the Flyers on the power play for the first time in this game. They scored a power play goal yesterday. Here's Wirtz. Wanted to give back down low to DeFulvio. DeFulvio takes a shot. Didn't miss by much. Pass the screen to Anderson. In the corner, Leahy can't come up with possession. Played near side. Swung back to the point. A quick shot. Gets blocked down in front. Never made it all the way through. As Jack Wirtz is offering. Could not find where it wanted to go. Shot on, shorthanded. Knocked aside by Radcliffe. We mentioned how the Flyers had a power play goal yesterday. The Express had a shorty as well. Here's Jack Wirtz giving back Roselli, shrugged off by Anderson. Played up ahead, and now the Express possibly have a 2-on-1 going. Instead, it'll be Cardozo on a shorthanded breakaway. Cardozo in, sent it wide. Stuff an attempt knocked down by Radcliffe as well. Little rough ice out there with 8:20 to go in the second period, and Cardozo on his breakaway had the puck hop up on end. Now the puck forced back down into the Express zone. Galante trying to come up with possession, flipped out as far as center ice. 40 seconds to go on the Flyers power play as they get back into the offensive end. Loose puck far side. Coming up with this is Divine. Divine wanting to go back to Zhao, stolen away by Cardozo. Cardozo, second time on this penalty kill. Sent in, he scores! Dan Cardozo, a shorthanded goal. 2-0 Westchester. For Danny Cardozo, it is his 5th goal of the season. A shorthanded goal by the Express takes the wind out of the sails of the Flyers. 15 seconds to go on the power play, 7:40 to go in the second period. As the Express right now are cruising. The Flyers have 6 seconds to go on the power play, a centering feed. Everybody doing snow angels in the slot. Eventually the Express are able to clear. 2 seconds and 1 power play has expired, and we are back to even strength hockey. Second game in a row that the Express have recorded a shorthanded goal. Here is Zubak looking to make it 3. Centering feed off the big paddle of the stick of goaltender Nick Radcliffe. Cleared on back down into the Express zone. Vault there to pick it up. He'll go over far side. We're looking to turn up ice is Colin Cody. Golisano able to poke one into the Flyers zone. Backhand attempt by Gott goes wide. Hurlbert, far corner, has some support and is able to chip the puck out at least over the blue line. Now Vault, he'll send one in on goal, gloved by Radcliffe, and Radcliffe will shovel one into the corner. Zhao, behind his own net, has a pair of forecheckers to deal with, turned the puck over, but unable to take advantage of that was Zubak. Now Zubak circling at center ice into the Flyer zone. Zubak from the outside. Now to the near side corner. Centering feed goes off the skates of Divine and then over the blue line. So offsides is called. 6:20 to go in the second period, and the Westchester Express have struck again. It's 2-0. Hochberg on the faceoff for the Express. He's able to win it on back. Casey swings over far side, sent down deep into the Flyers zone. Resto, the first one there, turns it over. Sharp angle attempt off a defensive skate and wide. Here's Jones across the blue line into the Express zone. You want to see more if you're a Flyers fan. As this one gets sent in front, stopped by Anderson. Resto at the point has it. From the center of the ice, his shot gets knocked on down by Anderson. Played along Danielson, he can't fire. Now Skameka, that shot gets blocked in the way of that Hochberg. Express looking to clear. Hochberg plays up ahead for Gazzetti. Gazzetti on a 2-on-1, his shot was partially blocked by Resto. Sent in front, they score! Braden Galante! 3-0 Westchester. For Braden Galante, his 6th goal of the season. And the Express are cruising. 5:35 to go in the second period. A pair of goals in this period for Westchester. They lead it 3-0. Chipped on down into the Express zone. Casey the first one there. DeFolvio for the Flyers swings on by. Sent over far side. Atrondo there to pick it up. Given along Galante, and Galante is unable to clear. Miller wraps one around that. Rides along the lip of the boards for a while. Finelli eventually picks it up in the near side corner. Centering feed goes through everybody. There's an injured Express player on the ice. Meanwhile, puck loose in the slot. Play continues. And now finally a whistle as DeFolvio ends up on the ice as well for the Flyers. So DeFolvio down on the ice for Philadelphia. Don't have an angle on who the Express player is. Looks like it's going to be Jack Casey for the Express. He's slowly able to get himself back up to his skates, holding his left arm as he goes back to the Express bench. Meanwhile, Ruchita Fulvio hunched over on the Flyers bench. So the training staff will suddenly find themselves a little bit busier than they were anticipating. 5:03 to go in the second period. Faceoff will remain in the Westchester zone. Cardozo, Golisano up front for the Express. They'll have Joey Malazzi out there as well. It'll be Ravitz, Miller, and Jack Wirtz up front for the Flyers. Off the draw, Zhao sends one back behind the cage. Wirtz comes up with it. Centering feed attempted for Ravitz, got blocked away. Now Miller. Knocked off of his stick, getting tripped up on the play was Katena, but play continues. Wirtz, sharp angle, can't get control of it. Cardozo plays up ahead for Malazzi, and now Joey Malazzi up ahead across the Flyers' blue line. He's facing the wrong way, wanting to give it along for Golisano. Flyers are able to take it away. Golisano then picks off a pass at center ice. Here's Golisano at the far circle with 4:25 to go in the second period. Work down low for Cardozo. Golisano pinned up against the wall. Now Cardozo tries to walk his way in front of the net. It's loose. They score! Danny Cardozo, his second of the game. 4-0 Westchester. For Cardozo, his 6th of the year, his 2nd of the game. 3 goals by the Express in this period, and nary a response from Philadelphia. Here's Golisano at center ice, giving long for Katena near side. Katena wanted to chip it down deep, lost the puck in front of his own bench. Played over far side, and now the Flyers are able to get into the offensive zone. Resto wanted to send it across for Roselli in front of a net. Now Pauliak. Puck never gets to him. Resto on goal, swallowed up by Anderson, and he'll hold on for a faceoff to his right. 3:39 to go in the second period. 3 goals in this period by the Express. They lead it 4-0. And all 3 goals scored in this period coming in less than 2.5 minutes of game time. Here's Colin Cody up ahead. The Express want more. They're off sides. Yet somehow there's no whistle. Here's Zubak sending one off the crossbar. I think everybody wearing black was expecting the whistle. Instead, Zubak nearly made it 5. Now a turnaround shot by Gott deflects out of play. Faceoff will remain in the Flyers' end. 3:15 to go in the second period. A pair of goals by Danny Cardozo. Braden Galante as well finding the back of the net in this second period. Luke Golisano got us started in the first, but it has been all Westchester here in the second period. And yet, despite that, they're getting outshot in this period 13-9 by the Flyers. They have been very opportunistic. Here is Roselli from center ice, skips one in on goal. Anderson leaves it in a dangerous area. Danielson unable to come up with it. 2:55 to go before the intermission. Skameka kept it alive at the blue line. Here is Vault. Pestered by Danielson. Vault goes off the wall. That's poked at him midair by Wirtz. Nice hand-eye shown. Wirtz sends one towards the front of the net. Unable to take the shot was Roselli. Loose on the side of the cage. They score! The Flyers able to respond. Oscar Danielson finds the back of the net. And with 2:39 to go in the second period, the Flyers are on the board. It's 4-1. for Oscar Danielson, his first goal of the regular season here at the Tier 1 level. So Danielson finds the back of the net. Jake Anderson's shutout bid is ruined. And we've got 2.5 left to play in this second. What else will we see? Here's MJ Atrando. Reversed back behind the cage. Wirtz gets there first. Sends one backwards, picked up for Finelli. Finelli tries centering in front for Danielson. Can't quite connect. Here's Zhao at center ice. From the red line, he'll send one down deep. Atrando the first one there. Flyers in the middle of the change. So MJ Atrando tried to send it down deep. That's gloved down by Skameka. Played off the wall, off the skates of Miller, so no offsides this time. Hurlbert in his own end, cycles up ahead Skameka. Skameka gives near side Warner, who chips one down deep. $1:45 to go in the period. Golisano tried dummying it along. A couple Flyers in the area were able to break that up. Poliak at the blue line. His shot deflects just wide. Getting a stick on it was Hurlbert. Miller's opportunity from the front of the crease goes well wide. And the Express are able to clear with under 90 seconds to play. Radcliffe leaves it behind the net. Warner knocked off the puck. Golisano. Golisano sends over far side. Gazzetti couldn't give it on back to the point. Now Ravitz near side with 70 seconds to go. Ravitz drops back Miller. Miller swings one to the slot. Hurlbert's shot partially blocked. It ends up behind the net. Centering feed. Glove down by Warner. Not in the direction he wanted it to go. Here's Gazzetti back the other way. 3-on-2 for the Express. Giving back Malazzi a shot. Stopped by Radcliffe. And he'll hold on for a face-off to his left with 52.1 seconds to go in the second period. Well, perhaps it took the first period for everybody's Wheaties and coffee to work through their system, as finally in this second period we're getting the scoring we were expecting. 3 goals by the Express in this period. The Flyers finally get on the board as well. It's 4-1. 45 seconds to go in the period. Wrapped around to the near side wall. It's Resto beaten out to the puck. Flyers able to clear regardless. Here's Jack Wirtz to the outside. Wirtz a shot goes behind the net. Now Resto with 28 seconds to go. He'll pinch in from the point. Resto in the corner, wanting to give it down low. Katena got in the way. Katena's outlet was knocked off the skates of Resto, and so the Flyers will keep it on in. Danielson weakly towards the front of the net. Now on the near side half wall. 13 seconds to go in the period. Swung across the slot, knocked away. Picked up by the Express. They've got 8 seconds to work with. It's Joey Malazzi circling. 4 seconds to go. Malazzi top of the circle. 2 seconds left. Given down low. Cardozo stopped by Radcliffe. And that's how we end the second period of play. So at the end of 2, it's Westchester 4, Philadelphia 1. We'll take a timeout and we'll get a fresh sheet of ice. See you for the third period. You're watching the Tier 1 Hockey Federation Game of the Week, presented by Play by Play Productions. Welcome back to the Brewster Ice Arena. 1:35 to go in the third. Westchester leads it by 2 in the Tier 1 Hockey Federation Game of the Week, presented by Play by Play Productions. Thanks again for joining us, folks. I'm Zach McGinnis. This has certainly been an entertaining one. Flyers down by 2, coming off the timeout they control. Don't be surprised if we see a goaltender Nick Radcliffe make a mad sprint to the bench as soon as he can, but instead we have a whistle and we have too many men on the ice. It's too many men on the ice against the Westchester Express. Or is it against the Flyers? The signal's been given, but nobody's gone into the box. It goes against the Flyers. Oh, I'm not sure where the miscommunication arose. But Westchester is going to go on to the power play. They're 5th of the afternoon. They're 1 for 4. And up by 2, they can simply see this game out. Oh, a bad break for the Philadelphia Flyers elite squad as this shot from the point punched aside by Radcliffe. Again, not sure where the miscommunication was. Radcliffe goes to the bench regardless for the extra attacker. So an empty net to our left, and we skate 5-on-5 with 1:08 to go. Flyers need 2 to tie. Westchester with possession of the puck sent all the way down the ice and wide, so icing called against the Express. Believe that was going to be Luke Golisano who went for it from his own blue line, but again, it's an icing call against the Express, and so the Flyers get themselves an offensive zone face-off. It'll be Richie DeFolvio on the draw. He goes up against Braden Galante. False start on the draw. Flyers will decline the yardage, and we'll do it all over again. Off the draw, off the side of the cage, sharp angle save by Anderson. Warner stepping in from the point. Diving out, Galante takes it away. Zubak can't clear it out of the zone. Sent back down deep. Here's Katana. He'll go hard around the boards with 45 seconds to go. Gazzetti couldn't come up with it. Shot from the point. Knuckles on in. Saved by Anderson. And we have a whistle as the Nets come off of its moorings at one of the most inopportune times. 39.3 seconds to go. Flyers need 2 to tie. Face-off will be to goaltender Jake Anderson's right. Anderson has stopped 32 of 35 shots on goal. Off the draw, DeFolvio couldn't come up with possession. An interesting hop off a glass stanchion allows the Express to pick it up, but then behind the play, we have a whistle and a penalty coming up. Going to the box for Westchester is Jackson Leahy. He'll sit 2 minutes for roughing. So with 31.3 seconds to go, the Flyers will go on to the power play once again. This will be their 3rd trip to the man advantage. They're 1 for 2 so far. With the goaltender pulled, it'll be a 5-on-4 advantage. Luke Ravitz on the draw. Left-handed shot. He could shoot it from this angle if he wants to. Instead, it's cleared all the way down the ice and in. Colin Cody with the goal. His 3rd of the season. And with 26.2 seconds to go, the Express lead it 6-3. Oh, with a 2-goal lead on the power play, that's when you're allowed to start taking, or rather on the penalty kill, that's when you're allowed to start taking those home run shots. And Colin Cody puts one dead center. Flyers still threatening. 10 seconds to go. Loose puck. Cardozo had it for a moment. Anderson makes one last save. Sent down the ice. 2 seconds and 1. And the whistle blows as zeros appear on the scoreboard, and that will be it. The Westchester Express take game 2 by a score of 6-3. Jake Anderson on your screens at home records the victory. His record improves to 5-6-1 for the season. Nick Radcliffe for the Flyers will record the loss. His record falls to 3-6. So one last look at the scoring for this game. In the first period, just a goal by the Westchester Express at the 15:59 mark. It was Luke Golisano finding the back of the net. Andrew Zubak picking up the lone helper. In the second period, it was Danny Cardozo, assisted by Jackson Leahy and Luke Golisano at 9:51. At 11:25, Braden Galante made it 3-0. Marco Gazzetti and Mike Otrando picking up the assist. Cardozo would then score his second of the game less than a minute later at the 12:26 mark. Leahy and Golisano pick up the helpers there. John Wirtz found the back of the net at the 14:21 mark to put the Flyers on the board. Joe Roselli picked up the lone helper there. And then in the third, goals by Andrew Zubak and Colin Cody from the Express. Corey Levy and Ryan Warner for the Philadelphia Flyers elite. But it would not be enough as the Express skate away with a 6-3 victory. So that will just about wrap it up for us here. For everybody on the technical side of things for Play-by-Play Productions, our engineer has been Chris Markowitz, and I'm Zach McGinnis saying so long from the Brewster Ice Arena. Westchester Express 6, Philadelphia Flyers Elite 3. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon, folks, and we'll see you again real soon.